Hey everybody, welcome to Pop Culture Philosophers. It's time for a movie review, and we're doing an audience choice movie review today. You picked it, we watched it, we review it, we revisit it. Bloodsport. That's right, everybody. Welcome to Pop Culture Philosophers. Today we're doing a movie review, a classic movie review. In fact, over at the PCP Army, as the official Pop Culture Philosophers Facebook group, we had a poll. What Van Damme movie do you want us to watch, revisit, and review? And we had a lot of great films on there. Street Fighter, JCVD, Universal Soldier. What else do we have?
I keep forgetting what was there.
There was another one. It wasn't Kickboxer.
Because mine won.
But yours won.
Mine's won.
Yours won.
Well,
and it was Bloodsport. So we're talking about Bloodsport from 1988.
Yeah.
Directed by...
Oh yeah, who is it directed by?
As Jelani finds out the director. I am Rockin Robbie Billups. This is... Brooks, the magnificent he is. This is...
Jelani Bullard.
Jelani Bullard. And Jelani, of course, is our Wikipedia look-upper. Anyway, so who directed this film?
It is a Newt Arnold.
Newt Arnold.
I don't know Newt Arnold.
This may be in 1988. So Canon Films.
Yeah, it was a Canon
They had
film.
done Masters of the Universe, right?
They also
and
did
so
Quest for Peace.
The last audience choice movie review was Masters of the Universe. Mm-hmm. And we were talking about how the sequel for Masters of the Universe was going to be Cyborg.
Yeah.
That's what turned into Cyborg, starring Jean-Claude Van Damme. It led into this whole new
That's what it was,
audience poll, right?
Yeah.
And now we're doing Bloodsport.
Yeah.
So, we watched Bloodsport.
And we're Van Damme fans, by the way. Well, I'm sorry, I'm a Van Damme fan.
I'm a Van Damme fan.
Man.
To the point of being a Van Damme fan. What do you think? Are you a Van Damme man? Are you a Dapper Damme man?
I was not very familiar with a lot of Van Damme.
Really?
Back in the day.
How many Van Damme movies did you watch?
I did. Like, I'd seen Universal Soldier, that was one.
Yeah.
Street Fighter.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen Bloodsport when you were...
No, I'd never seen Bloodsport. I think I'd seen...
Was this the first time?
Yeah, this is the first time I've seen Bloodsport.
This was the first time you watched Bloodsport?
Yeah.
Thank you, PCP Army, for providing Brooks with this experience. Oh my goodness.
Awesome.
That's amazing. Yeah. All right, well, let's get right into this then. I remember as a kid, since Brooks didn't watch this movie as a kid, I remember loving this movie as a kid, being fascinated with this movie, thinking that every single defeat ended in a death. It's how the canvas of the fight mat became this blood-splattered mess. Like, it affected me. What's the name of the villain? Chong Li. Chong Li?
Yeah.
That
was Bolo.
Yeah.
That was Bolo Young. And Bolo Young is like, he's Bruce Lee's, like, one of Bruce Lee's best friends. Or was his sparring partner. And
he was Bolo in Enter the Dragon.
He was Bolo in Enter the Dragon.
Yeah.
Bolo!
He was like one of my favorite parts of that movie.
Yeah, he's awesome.
The faces he makes when he kills somebody, like...
In this movie, he is the epitome of evil.
He really is.
And when I was a kid, he was the epitome of evil. I love this film. Rewatching it, literally, just a couple hours ago, for me. This movie's great for what it's supposed to be. It cost $1.5 million to make it. It made $65 million.
Yeah, and it was Van Damme's first film.
It was one of his first starring roles. Absolutely. Was this before or after Kickboxer?
No, this was first.
This was before Kickboxer.
This was before Kickboxer.
This is a better film than Kickboxer.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you this.
I like Kickboxer.
I love this film. I think it's great. I think it is absolute perfection for what it is in its time. It's all in context. And later on when we rate these movies, I want you to know, when we rate these movies, this movie is a revisit rating, and we understand its place in history. Anyway, I think this movie is awesome and fun. If you are a young'un, and you're just like, you may think this movie's cheesy. You may think this movie's stupid. Yeah. You may think it has bad music.
It's dated.
But for 1988, it is not. It is dated as fuck. Like, absolutely, it is. But it is perfection for what it's supposed to be. Jelani, what do you think about this movie?
Man, I love this movie.
Tell us what.
I couldn't stop talking. I'm sorry, but I love.
No, I'm trying to stop talking. You go.
This thing is awesome, man. I don't know. I watched this as a little kid. Like, on HBO on top of that.
I was like 5 or 6.
Yeah.
So you were like,
I was like
9 or 10?
Yeah, I was like 9 or 10.
Oh, yeah, that's a better age, man.
It was good times.
I bet you ate this up. You just soaked it up, man.
It's so gorgeous. Like, I saw it in the theater, and I wasn't supposed to because it was rated R.
What?
Yeah, it was Bloodsport, man.
Yeah,
and it's like super violent.
Yeah.
And my parents didn't want me to see it. So
you watched it in the theater?
It in the theater.
Oh my goodness.
I got my cousin.
My first R-rated film was Child's Play, like the next year.
Yeah.
But like I missed out on Bloodsport, man.
Yes.
I'm pissed off because of it. I'm so pissed off that you're older than me by like a year or 2.
Yeah. It's okay,
You've
man.
had a year more of watching Bloodsport.
Bloodsport than me.
Dare you.
This movie is so awesome. It brings back so many childhood memories of just wanting to kick ass.
Yeah.
And like it was so cool because like after this and like stuff like Jurassic Park, I'd walk around like a raptor, you know. Yeah. I just don't like a kid, but
still does
like with Bloodsport, you just like kick, and he does these split things, and Van Damme was known for that.
They should call this Blood Split.
Blood Split. But he's awesome. All of the characters are cheesy as crap, but they're all solid characters.
Jackson!
It's a basic story. Hey, this guy wants to fight the Kumite to please his surrogate father. And like it turns into this brilliant just fight. There are parts of this movie that don't make sense at all. I will say that.
I think it all makes sense. Sometimes it makes too much sense.
It's the CIA or whoever Forrest Whitaker was. But
yeah,
I'm talking too much. But this movie is awesome. I cannot endorse machismo like martial arts.
It is a very masculine macho.
Awesome. There is a love interest in there.
It is a love interest.
I mean, that's so.
Yeah. It's like every time I seen it with her, I'll be like, oh yeah, she's still in this movie.
I feel like there
was one of those characters.
There was a committee room in 1987, and they were like, in case the dude brings his lady.
Yeah,
let's throw like a lady reporter in there.
She was kind of pointless though.
It's like Carl from Aqua Teen being like, let's throw a lady reporter in there in case they show up. This is obviously a very masculine film, all right? But it's very macho. Brooks, first time watching. What do you think about this film?
I liked it a lot. I think it's something I would have liked as a kid. Like me and my dad, we used to watch a lot of action movies. I think this is one we really missed out on. Kind of, I'm ashamed about that, but
damn,
you know,
it's okay.
It's all right.
Why don't you should call your dad? Be like, hey man, we're watching Bloodsport this Friday night.
Nostalgia. Yeah, man.
So you like next Father's Day, Bloodsport.
Yeah. Did it feel dated?
Yes. But in a good way, I think. You know?
Yeah, absolutely.
It brings back, the nostalgia for the best parts of that time period.
Yeah, man.
Right.
Absolutely. It makes me question, though, if someone didn't grow up in the 80s like we did, would they have that same sense of nostalgia? Or would they just be like, this is dumb as hell? Like, when we would watch movies from the 70s or the 60s, we'd be like, this is stupid as fuck.
Yeah.
Like, what are y'all talking about? This is dumb, right?
But you have to put those glasses on and to see how brilliant this film is in the context of what it's doing. It tells this true story of Frank Dukes.
Let's get in that.
Who is awesome.
Frank Dukes. So the whole story of Bloodsport, in case you didn't know, is based on a true story. They say it at the end of the film.
Yep.
Apparently, allegedly, a lot of that stuff has come out to be bullshit. Right? Like, absolutely. And by the way, guys, on these audience choice videos, we can say whatever the fuck we want, okay?
Oh, yeah. Potty mouth language.
Yeah, you can do that. On these ones, who gives a shit? It's like it's a podcast.
All right.
By the way, if you want to see more raw, uncensored PCP, check out the podcast, right? That's how we are. Anyway, so, like, apparently, allegedly, this dude's full of shit, right? And I don't know Adam from Ant, or whatever the fuck the saying is. But, it seems like, and I read it, so I was looking this shit up, right? And I saw this thing, and they were like, so, the writer, one of the co-writers of the film was like, when Frank Dukes first told me the story, I thought he was full of shit. But I also thought, that'd make a really good movie. Right? And I get that, and that's fine, and whatever. That's fine. What do you guys think about Jean-Claude Van Damme and his performance in this movie? Because me, it's an early performance for Van Damme.
Right.
It's one of his first starring roles.
He's not supposed to be Brando.
He does not deliver, right? Quite the
emotion.
Well, here's the thing. I don't think he okay. So delivering dialogue is part of being an actor, an actor, as Justin would say. But you also have to be able to emote facially.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Right? Van Damme can emote facially in a slow pan in, montage type thing. Right? Zoom in, pan, right? He can do that.
They do a lot of that.
The director of this film, whoever it was.
That guy.
He understood.
Newt Arnold.
So there's a lot of shots of Van Damme reacting without without any words, and a pan or a zoom or a scan or something like that, right? And I think it works, and I think the director figured it out, right? Van Damme's not the best actor at this point in his career.
Yeah.
No.
Well, I mean,
but
not much
he has one of the most amazingly sexy bodies out there. He can do the splits like nobody else. They show it off. They show it off like crazy. I think he does exactly what he's supposed to do for Frank Dukes in this movie. What do you think, Brooks?
Well, yeah, I mean...
Tell us. What do you think about Van Damme's performance in this film?
He definitely does like to show off the fact, hey, I can do the splits. He also does, what's this crazy thing he does where he's tied to different trees or something?
Yeah, man. And what is it? Tanaka?
The whole training montage is just fucking ridiculous.
I love it, man.
But it's kind of like Dragon Ball Z in a way,
right?
Shit,
I feel like this script should have been the one they used for Street Fighter, the movie.
Yeah.
Gosh, that'd been great.
Right?
That's Street Fighter. Bloodsport is Street Fighter.
Bloodsport should be Street Fighter. But I think it existed before Street Fighter 2, before Guile did.
Yeah.
Right? Maybe Street Fighter should have been a sequel to Bloodsport. Which, by the way, Bloodsport has there's 4 Bloodsports, I think. As far as I've never seen any of the others.
None of them. Just the first one.
When I was a kid,
because they all went to direct to DVD or direct to VHS.
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 Y'all know what we're talking about? So, if you're watching a Bloodsport video, you know what VHS is.
I've never heard of
I'm pretty sure you have. So, I was so confused about this movie that, I get this movie confused with Kickboxer all the time.
Yeah.
I think I was like, oh yeah, that dude from Revenge of the Nerds is his brother, and he gets killed, and he has to take his place in the tournament, right? No, you're taking 2 movies and merging them together, right?
Yeah.
And I recognize that now, and I understand. And Bloodsport's the better film than Kickboxer.
Yeah.
For sure. But the music is done by the same guy, Paul Herzog. Oh, the music in this movie is so good.
It is
Grammy
good.
Nominated, by the way.
It was awesome.
Grammy nominated, not Oscar, not Academy Award. Grammy nominated. I love this because of that. But Jean-Claude Van Damme, his performance in this film.
Man. All right, he's a wood block.
As Frank Dukes.
Yeah, as Frank Dukes, he's a wood block. He emotes very little.
But he does it on time.
He does it on time. He does.
He's got the charm, too.
He's got charming.
He does have charm.
He does.
He does. And he's got that body and those splits. I'm not even kidding, dude. I was getting aroused watching Van Damme in this film.
Really?
It was weird. I'm not even kidding. I'll admit it. Who cares?
Okay.
Who cares? I'm just going to say.
Not there's anything wrong with that.
I'm glad to have a movie that has male objectivity in it, right? It's all about he's putting his little underwear on his yeah.
It's very homoerotic.
Give it to us.
But he has a friendship, and the chemistry with Jackson is awesome.
Jackson is awesome. Yeah. What's his name?
I don't know.
He played Olaf.
He was Ogre.
You got the Wikipedia, right?
I'm the guy.
You're the Wikipedia guy.
Yeah,
Who is it?
Oh, what is that guy's name?
It's a normal ass name.
Is it Donald Gibb?
I think that is.
Donald Gibb. He was Ogre.
Yeah. That's Donald Gibb.
Yep.
He's amazing in the film. I love that camaraderie between the two.
It was awesome. Their friendship was great, man.
Yeah.
You understood. Even at the end, he was like, I love you, brother.
Yeah.
And I was like,
anytime, anywhere.
You got
any place.
It was the best friendship ever. He actually met that guy.
The bond over playing video games.
I feel like I would have been more emotionally invested if they were the ones that came up together at the end.
Yeah.
But no, like the villain is badass.
Yeah, because Chong Li is insane. But yes, the fights were believable.
Yeah.
The setup of the blind, the blind.
Training. So it starts off and he's like, he's hired. By the way, so he's hired in this film. By the way, y'all. And I'm if you've made it this far in this film, you've watched it into this video. You've watched
spoilers.
The film. So like, I mean, obviously, but spoilers on Bloodsport. That was so long.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, that was like 30 years ago. But
should have watched it by now.
Yeah, for real, right? I mean, surely spoiler alert. We're only given a week-long spoiler zone on Endgame.
Pretty much.
Bloodsport's already expired beyond that. You saw that, right? Yeah. So just bear with this. I think last year we broke that. Anyway, we're moving on. So like, what was I saying? I got distracted. We were talking about the villain. No, we weren't. But the villain is something badass. What do you think about the villain in this film?
Well, I like this guy. You know, he was in Enter the Dragon too. He was the villain in that. And like he gets a little more in this, and he kind of gets one of the Bruce Lee lines. You know, where dude had to break the brick.
Yeah.
And he like looks at him and he's like, bricks don't hit back.
Yeah.
That's a great moment in the film.
It is.
And then Jackson, this guy makes, man.
Yeah, and Jackson comes up and says, I got you next, buddy. I'm going to kill you, man. I'm going to get you. I'm like, come on, don't do that. And when I was a kid, I remember Jackson dying and being heartbroken. But he didn't die. He didn't die in this film. Yeah. Only like 2 dudes die in this film.
Yeah,
when I was a kid, I thought they all died. No, like I was just like this was the impact on me when I was a child. I loved this film so much, but I was like, this dude just
it was so violent. Yeah,
and he was so thick.
Yeah.
He really
like
was.
Van Damme is built, but he's like
Bolo's like
he's like Greek god sexy, right? But like Bolo is like scary. Like scary, like man muscle coming at you to suffocate you, and like he like breaks that dude's neck out of nowhere. Tell us why you love him.
I love Bolo because he's a villain. And he's the last champion, and he wants to win. And
what's his motivation in this film?
None. To win.
Exactly.
To win.
And he gets pissy because they start chanting his name.
Record.
They start chanting his name.
And this is a real dude.
He breaks his record, and he starts chanting his name. Yeah.
Yeah, because Frank Stew's beat his record on his first
allegedly.
fight. Allegedly. Beat his record.
You know that happened.
Yeah. You took
it
from me.
We're just gonna say YouTube Frank Dukes. And watch some of the videos we watch.
Yeah.
They're pretty fun.
They're enlightening.
But we're not here to talk about that. We're here to talk about this film, which we think is awesome. The music, I think, is great. What do you guys think about the music, Brooks?
I like it. You know, it's
dated.
Yeah. It's over its time.
Yeah.
But, you know, it's kind of part of it. It fits, you know, with all the rest.
Right.
It's like Airwolf-like.
It's like the Mortal Kombat soundtrack. You know how perfect it goes.
How, like, this movie, I think this movie is what led to games like Street Fighter and Mortal Kombat.
Yeah.
We have Street Fighter and Mortal Kombat because of these because of Bloodsport.
Kids like people beating the crap out of each other.
And they kill each other sometimes. Finish him?
So cool.
What if he knocked him into a pit of spikes? What if he ripped his head off and it was a fucking spine just laying there, right? Like, for real.
Fatality.
Bloodsport, overall,
you just got caged.
Is a very dated film.
Gosh, but man.
A movie that claims to be based on true events that may not have been. Allegedly. But I think that's the same with the Monster Squad. This is like the action movie version of something like the Monster Squad.
I love the Monster
Squad. You get what I'm saying? Like, this is the movie that's so bad, it's so cheesy, but it's so good and it's so fun and it's so knows what exactly the fuck it wants to do. And this was the thing I was trying to say earlier that I forgot. I remembered it just now. So, early on, the whole origin of Frank Dukes, right? He's trained by this Tanaka.
Yeah.
Because he was hired as a young kid, right? Who, by the way...
No, him and his buddy were like trying to
break in and steal
swords.
But then the father... Okay, so the kid comes in and does what? Whips the shit out of Frank.
Yeah.
Right? And then the dad's like, ooh, I want you to train my son who gets bullied at school. You want the kid who just got his ass kicked by your son to be the bodyguard for your son. The other thing I really want to point out is that he's wearing a San Francisco Giants baseball cap and a New York Giants football jersey.
He likes those teams.
Somebody was like, He's a fan of the Giants. Get us a hat and a shirt. Think about that. I mean, that's like legitimate. And it leaves me confused. Is this movie set in San Francisco? Or is it set in New York? I have no idea. West Coast, East Coast. I have no idea.
Yeah,
anyway,
that's true.
I guess we need to ask.
As you think about it.
I guess we need to ask Frank Dukes, allegedly. Overall, I think this movie is exactly what it needs to be for its time. What do you think about this movie overall?
I love this movie, man. This story is trash. It was an hour and like 35 minutes.
It's so quick.
It's so fast.
It's very fast paced.
You don't need that much.
That's an easy script to write, by the way.
Yeah, it really is.
And I'm sure when Frank was telling us to do that, that's what he was thinking. He's like, this is going to be easy to write.
Awesome as crap.
I see all 3 acts right here.
And find a guy that knows martial arts. Hey,
if only there were some saving of orphans in this film. That would really put it over the edge. Speaking of over the edge, Brooks, overall, what do you think of this one?
I liked it a lot.
Okay.
It was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I had fun watching it.
It's a nice revisit, so we really appreciate y'all voting on this.
Thank you for picking Bloodsport.
So let's do the rankings. Out of 5 possible you digs, Jelani, what do you give Bloodsport from 1988? Which, by the way, is meant to be remade.
Oh, when?
But it's like from back in like the day, like from like 2011.
Oh.
It's been planned on being remade. Why the fuck not? This would be a great film to remake.
It would.
Especially knowing the whole like
mythology
Mortal Kombat, Street Fighter methodology, right? Like you could add so much more into it. Because a lot of this film is just people kicking each other's ass.
Pretty much.
But it's easy to follow. It's like the highlights of the best of the WWE in the 80s.
Yeah.
But they actually full contact.
Exactly.
Full contact. Man, when I was a kid, I was scared of those 2 words together.
Not full contact.
Out of 5 you digs, what do you give it, Jelani?
I'm giving it a 5.
Whoa! Jelani rarely gives perfect scores, and he gives one to fucking Bloodsport.
I give it a Bloodsport.
Elaborate.
It is nostalgia ball for me, on top of it being an awesome movie, because I love Van Damme. Van Damme is a short gentleman, and I am short as well, but he like made it cool to be cool and short and awesome. I liked it. And it's a rewatchability.
Made it cool to do the splits.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a lot of splits. But I would watch this again. If somebody wanted to watch this with me again another time, I will watch it.
Yeah.
And it's the rewatchability.
Is it your favorite Van Damme film? That's why you... Is that the why you campaigned for this one?
Well, I campaigned for this one because it is my favorite Van Damme film.
Yeah, okay.
It's pure.
5 you digs.
It's 5 you digs, man.
Wow.
You just heard
Brooks, out of 5 possible you digs, what do you rate this film?
I give it 4.
4? Wow.
It was exceptional, but it had its problems still, you know?
Yeah.
It was like, overall, you know, one that I would be willing to be down for watching pretty much any time.
Yeah,
but not one that I would be in particular stand out for movies that I want to watch.
Yeah. I'm going to be right there with Brooks. I would say 4. Because to be honest with you, I would give this a 3. Because it's of its time, and it's good, and it's generic, but it's fun, and it's got a nice pace to it. But it's not perfectly executed. However, that music sets it over for me. And I'm right there with you at 4. 4. So 4.5 for an average of 4.33333754339. According to our mathematical calculations. Anyway, so thank you so much for joining in on joining in on these videos. Like telling us what movies you want to see us revisit when we do these movie reviews. You know, we're keeping up with what's new and what's fresh. And next week we're doing Endgame. Actually, this week, the end of this week is Endgame. And we're super pumped and excited. But we love this. So we're doing another PCP Army movie review audience choice poll. Starting now, right? It's on the PCP Army, which is our official Pop Culture Philosophers Facebook group. So find the PCP Army, join us. And you can vote in the poll for a few weeks. But it's going to be a selection of 90s video game movies. Okay? We have 5 choices in this poll. They're going to be Mortal Kombat, Mortal Kombat Annihilation. Once again, my attempt to get Street Fighter starring Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Hell yeah!
On its third straight appearance on a movie
just pick
review audience choice.
It's Raul Julia's last film.
Right? Okay, so those three. Super Mario Brothers.
No.
Starring Bob Hoskins, Dennis Hopper, and John Leguizamo.
Let's not do that.
The classic. And fifth and final, and what I think is probably going to be the winner. Scott Wolf's Double Dragon.
Oh! I love
So those are going to be your picks for our 90s video game movies.
Those are good
poll.
choices.
Yeah, right? I mean, they're literally 5 of the only 6. The other one was Wing Commander. And I was like, fuck it, we're not watching Wing Commander. Anyway, I'd rather watch Super Mario Brothers or Double Dragon. When's the last time you watched Double Dragon?
I don't believe I've ever.
Would that not be fun?
I saw it on VHS.
I think it may only be available on VHS. We may have to go old school on the next one. Anyway,
break out the old VCR.
Get onto the PCP Army and you can vote in the next movie review audience choice poll. Right? There we go. So thank you guys so much for checking out the video. Let us know in the comments down below, what do you think about Bloodsport? What do you rate it out of 5 you digs? I'm Rockin Robbie Billups. This is
Jelani Bullard.
This is
Brooks.
The magnificent you are for joining us here on Pop Culture Philosophers. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe, and click that notification bell so you do not miss a single movie review, comic book review, or anything else like that. Pop Culture Wrap-Ups, podcasts, and more can be found at www.popculturephilosophers.com. Please do like, share, and subscribe. I already said that. We are Pop Culture Philosophers. You dig?